There's been some question at this point where you're adding control with actions to your button, and I think I can offer a little bit of clarity. So I want to provide this tutorial to help you understand what's happening here as you add actions or controls to your button. I'm going to go ahead and save this first. Save it as Make Sound Button. Save, and now the control test movie in Flash, and you can hear the sound when it's clicked. Every time I click it, it starts it again. Okay, so now what's happening when you're adding sound to your button, or I'm sorry, when you're adding an action to your button, is in the tutorial, we're actually going to create a button a second button that will turn off the sound. So I have one created from the first part of the tutorial that creates sound, and now a second instance of that button is going to turn off that sound. So if I go down here, I'm going to say new layer, and that new layer is, they have us say action. Let's say stop sound action. Okay, and now this is my instance of the button. I'm going to move this up here. I just clicked on it one time. Notice I'm still on the scene, not within the controls of the button. And if I go to properties, this instance is going to be start sound. And now go to my library, and I'll take another sound button. And this instance, if I go to properties, this one is going to be stop sound. Okay, and right now then they both do the same thing because I haven't applied any action to this second button. So I'm going to go up and test my control just to be sure that's true. They do the same thing because I have not applied any action to one of these buttons. Now, again, for clarity, I want to make sure I understand what each of these do. So right in here, I'm going to say start, and I made this yellow, and there's my little start. I'll use my transform tool and just make this look kind of nicer, I guess, like it's part of the button. And I'm being careful to be sure that I'm not actually double clicking on this. If I click on this and add something, watch, it's going to happen to both. See how the bottom sound moves with this? That's inside the button itself, and this is just an instance of that button. I need to make sure up here that I'm not in sound button. I'm on the scene for these instances. So this instance is the start sound. Just clicking one time, this is the stop sound. And if I click only once, then I'm fine adding things to my stage here, or to this document area. And then this is going to be the stop sound. And I want that to be yellow and smaller. And I'll use my transform tool just to make this look nicer. Okay, so I have my start sound, which is this instance, and the stop sound, which is that instance. And now I can make sure I'm applying my action to this instance within the programming of that action. I'm actually going to identify that it belongs to this button right here, the stop sound. Okay, here I have put in this layer already, and I called it stop sound action. And I'm going to open my actions window. So window, actions, and there is the window I need to apply actions. And right here, if you don't see this large box, is empty right now, but if your window looks like this, you need the script assist to be showing. So right here, kind of, we call these the pancakes right here with those lines. You need to make sure that script assist is checked so that you see this wide panel up here. Okay, then refer to your instructions. Again, I'm on this keyframe and I'm supposed to insert the add event listener, and then it says that the add event listener method is in Flash Events. There's Flash Media, Flash Events I'm looking for. Flash Events, and then iEvent Dispatcher. So I'm just reading this right off my manual. iEvent Dispatcher, methods, and now add event listener. So I double click it to add it, and then I need to use all of these parameter areas in here to follow along with the instructions. So what it says is your target path will only show up when you click in the object. It's actually right here. So watch, I click in the object and there's my target path. So I'm now supposed to click on target path, it says. And be sure it's on relative according to the instructions, and then which instance of the button do I want the sound to stop on when it's clicked? It's this one right here. So I click on stop sound and click OK. All right, and now I'm going to click in the type, and I need to find click. So let's go see where click is supposed to be. And click is in Flash Events, it says. So I go to Flash. Oh, there's Flash Events. I have it open already. And then mouse event. So Flash Event, mouse event. Here's mouse event, properties, and click. So don't double click it yet. Now here's where it's a little bit tricky. I found click, and now I need to highlight this line, the object line here, and then put my mouse click inside the type, and now double click on click, and see it puts it inside here and inside this line. So there's one area that was really kind of tricky, making sure that this mouse event click went inside the correct area of this parameters window. Okay, so we have an event. What's happening is we're going to click on this button, the stop sound instance of our sound button, and now we still have to tell it what function, what happens when I click on that button. So right here I'm going to give that function a name, and I'm going to say turn off sound. Turn off sound. That's what my function is going to be. And now I'll go ahead and add that function. So I go up to language elements. I'm just following the instructions in the manual. Language elements, and then statements, keywords, and let's see, let me take a look here. I think it was definition keyword. Let me just make sure. And it is. And then function, I'm adding a function. So double click on function. And now I have some things I need to fill in here. So the name now needs to match exactly what I said my function was in the previous window, which was turn off sound. So turn off sound. And in the parameters, I need to type just exactly what they're telling us to type, which is event colon, and then it was mouse event, and no spaces in there. And now I need to go find that event. So I'm going to close that, and the stop all event is in Flash Media, it says. So look for Flash Media. There's Flash Media. And then it says expand methods. And then sound mixer, and I got stuck here. It's not there. So what you really need to do, those are backwards. You're going to go to sound mixer first, and then methods, and then you'll find stop all. And here it is. Okay, so if I go to my function, there it is, turn off sound, event, and then I've identified what it is. It's to stop any action that is currently playing. And that should do it. So let's close the actions window. And now I have two different instances here. This instance I've applied my action to, and I can go to my control test movie in Flash Professional according to what I think I've done. This is my regular button that I created that when I click on it plays sound. And now I've applied an action to this second one that should stop the action that started with the button here. Okay, so let's try it. And it works. Okay, so applying actions would change the action or the event that goes along with the button by stopping it, or I could create another button here that restarts and so on. So here I'll just grab from my library, grab another instance of this sound, and I could even I do not want to duplicate. Okay, so I'm putting another instance is all. Okay, so this instance, if I go to properties, there's no instance name. I could call it restart if I wanted to. But now let's just for verification, see what's happening here. Okay, this is just a regular instance. No action was applied, so it starts the sound, stops the sound, and this is just another instance just like the first. No action applied, so it should create sound. Now this one still should stop sound, right? Hopefully that helps with this activity. Good luck.